But after that first step, what else helps to make your life spike? Because you want to head up and to the right. You don't want to continue to live in that failure. Well, I find a number of things do this. One thing that may not be that attractive is pain. Pain drives those spikes up and to the right. As a matter of fact, I find that oftentimes there is a direct correlation between the amount of pain you're in and the level of your spiritual growth. Because pain causes us to turn to God. Pain is one of those factors that invites us into a richer and deeper life. And I've just found over time that this is something that God uses to change us and challenge us and make us more like Him. Now, oftentimes when we're most comfortable is when our spiritual life actually is in decline. But when we're in pain, God does amazing things. So if you're in pain, don't waste the pain. Use it to move up and to the right. You move up and to the right when you pursue Jesus overtly as well. When you're spending time in His Word, when you're spending time in prayer, when you're saying, I'm going to wrap my life around the things that Jesus has told me to do, when you listen to Him and obey His voice, you move up and to the right. I find that when people take classes in order to pursue Jesus at the next level, to kind of break through plateaus that they have, it makes a huge difference in their internal spiritual life. So here at the Old Mill campus, we've got a whole group of classes that are starting next Sunday. I'd encourage you to check those out and jump into one of those classes. If you're at the Bellevue campus, you've got the education hour that'll happen right after the services today. Jump into that hour. If you're somebody who's online or at any of our different campuses, we've got that intersections class that'll be starting Tuesday, March 5th. And you want to join in with that as well. I'll be teaching that. Pastor Tim Perry's going to be teaching that. We'll be doing that together. It's going to be an amazing class that will help you to learn how to share your faith without being obnoxious. And we'll be teaching that class, and you want to sign up online for that class as well. So those are some things that head you up and to the right. And when you start moving down that path, what happens is that you get closer and closer to being sanctified in the end. And you see this area here that's like our shaded area. Those are the things in your life that you leave behind. And you go, hey, that's good news. You know, there's some habits that really do change in your life. I found that for me, when I came to faith in Christ, there were some things that changed like right away. I just stopped doing some of the things that were a temptation to me before, and they really have not been a temptation for me for the rest of my life. Other people have different issues that they jump in with. There's one guy who's going to be baptized today, and he was, no kidding, just months ago, he was a drug dealer, and that was his primary source of income. And he's met Jesus, and he's gotten a job and given up drug dealing. That's good news, isn't it? Yeah. So whether it's drug dealing or foul language or drinking or whatever the temptation may be, there's some things that you just leave in your wake and they don't become a problem anymore as the life of Jesus begins to course through you. And these are things that you celebrate right away. And we feel good about those things that have changed. But the problem is, not in this area, it's in this area. Because even if you follow Jesus for a long time, there's always going to be a gap between your sanctification level and the perfection of Jesus. And you'll always feel that gap. And while there's some issues that God just took away from me instantly when I came to faith in Jesus, there are other issues that are still dogging me to this day. You guys ever get in that place where you go, why am I still doing the same stupid thing that I've been doing for 20 years? Like, I thought by the time I was 45 years old, I would have mastered these things. But I haven't. And I talk to my older friends who are 65 and 85, and they're like, hey, keep on living. Yeah, it still dogs you. Because you never get to the place where you have the perfection of Jesus. You can pursue holiness, and you should. You become more sanctified, but you never quite hit that level of perfection. We're always driving towards Jesus, and we're always reminded that we need Jesus to do that. I mean, for some people, what may be in that top level is an addiction that you just can't shake. Or maybe the way that you view women hasn't changed. Or maybe you spend more money than you have as income. Or you lose your temper, particularly with family members, or maybe even with small children in ways that if people knew about it, it would just be embarrassing. And we wonder, will those things ever be changed? Will there always be a gap? And there will always be a gap. There will always be struggles. And it's motivation to press deeper into Jesus with every day of our life.